So then whatever content they're putting out, it's relevant to them and it's relevant to your audience, and you're bringing in their audience to your page.
We interrupt this program to bring you this important message. Welcome to Marketing Interruption, a daily podcast powered by BlueTuskr that interrupts your day with marketing news, tips and strategies from an entrepreneur who lives and breathes marketing. Now, let the interruption begin with your host, Andrew Maff.
Hello, episode number 20, Marketing Interruption, Andrew Maff tone. Let's do this. So, weekly recap. We're going to talk about everything that I talked about earlier this week. So, Monday, we went into Instagram Reels and how that's going to affect e-commerce sellers, and how I believe that basically Instagram is going to leverage the plugins for e-commerce sellers that they already have, and it's going to become a real big shopping area. And also how e-commerce sellers should jump into into Reels. Well, jump into TikTok, test it on TikTok, then bring it over to Reels, and leverage your existing Instagram audience. Then we talked about the SEO guidelines. So what was it? 1,200 plus words, few H2 tags, several H3 tags. I think it was like 7 plus inbound links, or like 4 or 5 outbound links. Then keywords, how to use those. Went through all that. If you missed it, go back. I liked that one. We talked about using search ads to bring in more shoppers and more leads. A lot of e-commerce sellers aren't using search ads, and I disagree with that. I think that they should all definitely be using search ads, so I would highly recommend going to do that. And we talked about that ridiculous hyper super mega targeting funnel crap that all the agencies brag about. I hate those names. It's ridiculous. It makes it sound so fucking fancy, but it's not. So that's the thing where you create the high, medium, low priority campaigns, and you drop the keywords down into the medium priority, then the low priority, and then you just jack the bids up and the budget up, and you're good. So that was everything we talked about this week. A couple things I didn't mention that I wanted to, specifically yesterday when I went through the shopping ads, was I mentioned, it kind of featured Merchant Center. One of the things I forgot to bring up was you need to look at how you're pulling your catalog from your website or from your shopping cart into Merchant Center. I'm a big Shopify fan. We're partners, so I know how to use Shopify pretty well. And in Shopify, the connection that I have there is it allows you to select whether you're doing meta description, or you're doing the description that's on the product page, or you're doing the meta title, or you're doing the title that's on the product page. And you need to know which one you selected, because that's what you need to optimize. Google's going to pull all that information regardless. I'm a big fan of taking the information from the product page itself. As long as the product page is completely optimized and it's got all the information in there, you should have everything you want to go with. Don't overstuff your product pages. They are not blog posts. They don't need to be ridiculously long. So I mentioned optimizing Merchant Center, but you really need to optimize the copy on your product pages first. And then, so I did want to bring up some news. As I had mentioned, I kind of do these a little far in advance. So last I saw, I had mentioned on Monday that Twitter is also in the conversation now to purchase TikTok, which would be very interesting. I feel like they'll probably keep the two separate and run TikTok on its own. I definitely still believe that TikTok will remain a younger audience, and it's definitely someone that you still want to advertise in, but I would probably do more focused on branding, at least for the time being. And I would still try to develop some kind of TikTok, following, because 10 years from now, they'll be old enough where they're going to be more frequent shoppers. So you're not going to want to lose that audience. So think of it as an investment into your future. But hopefully next time I'll do these things, we'll know if TikTok is still around or not, because as of a few days ago, at least when I did this video or this podcast, Trump put them on a 45-day ban, or 45 days to be purchased. Otherwise, they're getting banned, along with WeChat. So we'll see what happens there. So per usual, new podcast. Only have a couple questions that actually came in. So I've started to test out a lot of stuff on Instagram, and one of the questions I got from Instagram was about Reels, and their question was, what are some things that we should be posting as e-commerce sellers? And it is very difficult because it's a very personal platform. There's usually like a person in the video, and it's very rarely not. And they're typically funny. At least the ones that do well are funny, or it's some kind of goofy dance, which you could obviously do. So I've seen a few things. I kind of wanted to touch on this, that you can kind of decipher how you want to use it. So if you're going to use Reels, keep Reels going as is, and maybe, obviously there's tons of different sellers and stuff out there, but maybe your profile itself, so your normal Instagram posts are more, let's say you're swimwear and you do more glamorous like beach shots and stuff like that, and your stories are pretty much the same, maybe a little bit more relaxed and giveaways and stuff like that. But TikTok, I'm gonna get used to not calling it that, so Instagram Reels, there's an interesting way where you can actually keep it as like a behind the scenes and let the people in your office just kind of do all the fun TikTok stuff. So all those dances and things like that, let them do that on Reels, and just allow employees to kind of just do stuff. You might want to have someone like check it over, obviously, before they do it, but that's one way. Otherwise, there's like tutorials. So if you're, again, I'll just stick to swimwear, you can do like, stuff to bring with yourself to the beach, and you can actually cut up videos and kind of do more like tutorials and like listicles and things like that. Think of it as a piece of like a video piece of content. So on Instagram, a lot of people are trying carousels now because they're required to engage by consistently swiping, and you can do a very similar video type thing with Reels. So I would suggest trying that out. There's a lot of other stuff you can do, or you can simply leave Reels out and never touch it and let influencers take it over. So give, just like you would do for an Instagram takeover, let an influencer have access to your Reels for 24 hours and let them do their own. So then whatever content they're putting out, it's relevant to them and it's relevant to your audience, and you're bringing in their audience to your page, but you're not the one actually creating the content. So it's kind of like doing UGC and user-generated content. So that's all I had for today. Again, appreciate it. And I will see you all next week. Rate, review, subscribe. That fun stuff. See you then.
Thank you for joining us for today's Marketing Interruption. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show. And don't forget to email marketinginterruption@bluetuskr.com with any marketing questions you'd like to have answered on the show. And head over to marketinginterruption.bluetuskr.com to catch up on past episodes. Until next time. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.